It's nighttime in the big city. Bananas ripen on the dock. The number 5 bus breaks down. It's Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
It's time for Theme Time Radio Hour. Make yourself comfortable and get out your shoehorns, because today we're going to trumpet those things at the end of your legs. I don't mean your feet, I mean the thing that covers them, the thing that makes you run your fastest and jump your highest. If you feel like the world's a tuxedo and you're a pair of brown shoes, today's show is just for you. Like it says on the door to the store, no shirt, no shoes, no service. Today we're going to be talking all about shoes. All kinds of shoes. Bowling shoes and running shoes, hiking shoes and fishing boots even. Ballet slippers and rubber boots, riding boots and gardening shoes. Sneakers and tennis shoes, baseball shoes. We're going to be talking about flippers and slippers and boat shoes. Snowshoes, ski boots, work boots, moccasins, dress shoes, loafers, cross trainers, and construction boots. Let's start things off with one of the most famous pairs of shoes in rock and roll.
Well, it's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe. Well, you can knock me down, step in my face, slander my name all over the place, and do anything that you wanna do. But honey, lay off of my shoes and don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe. My car, you drink my liquor from my old fruit jar, and do anything that you wanna do. But honey, lay off of them shoes and don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe. Right. For the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe. But it's blue, blue, blue suede shoe. Blue, blue, blue suede shoe. Yeah, blue, blue, blue suede shoe, baby. Blue, blue, blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe.
That was Blue Suede Shoes by Carl Perkins, playing along with his brothers and W.S. Holland on the drums, making a click sound that just about drives that thing. Legend has it, he wrote it on the side of a brown potato sack. When this record came out on the Sun label, it took off nationally, and it looked like Carl was going to hit the stratosphere. But unfortunately, when they were on their way to appear on the Perry Como show, the car rammed into a poultry truck, and Carl and his brother Jay ended up in a hospital. While he was in traction, Carl saw Elvis Presley performing Blue Suede Shoes on the Dorsey Brothers stage show. It became Elvis's 3rd top 40 hit, and unfortunately, Carl was never able to regain the same momentum again. Always respected by his peers, however, Paul McCartney wrote a song with him for his 1982 album Tug of War. And interestingly enough, Carl plays rhythm guitar on the Paul McCartney-Stevie Wonder duet Ebony and Ivory, a long way from Blue Suede Shoes. We got a couple of emails this week, so let's get one out of the way right at the beginning. This one comes from Jimmy Wales from Toledo, Ohio. Jimmy asks, I really enjoy the show, but I can't help but wonder, why do all the records you play sound so doggone great? especially the older ones. And why do the records today sound so complicated? Well, Jimmy, that's a great question. I don't have a definite answer, but if you're going to press me, I'd say it's because these musicians not only knew what to play, they knew what not to play. Sometimes you can play much too much and clutter up the sound. Just because you can play 100 notes a minute doesn't really mean you should play more than 2 or 3. Quality has nothing to do with technique. It's got to come from your soul and not just be something you learned. One thing every record on Theme Time Radio Hour has in common, no matter where they're from or how different the style of music, each and every one of them comes strict from the heart, and you can take that to the bank. Here at Theme Time Radio Hour, we believe in the same thing that Colonel Sanders believed in. He told everyone that worked for him, KISS, K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, stupid. Thank you, Colonel. So, Jimmy, there you go. Keep listening. Here's another simple record. It's by Tommy Tucker, or as it says on his birth certificate, Robert Higginbottom. Put on your high heel sneakers and bring along some boxing gloves.
Put on your red dress, baby. Lord, we going out tonight. Put on your red dress, baby. Lord, we going out tonight. And with some boxing gloves, in case some fool might wanna fight. Put on your high heel sneaker, wear your big hat on your head. Put on your high heel sneaker, wear your big hat on your head. You're gonna knock him dead. Hell! Pretty sure you're gonna knock him dead.
That was Tommy Tucker, talking about sneakers that lace up the ankle with an actual spiked heel. High heel sneakers. Here on Theme Time Radio Hour, home for simple dreams, themes, and schemes. The collectible sneaker market is going through the roof. Can you believe that one pair of Nike Air Force Ones sold for $33,000? That's a lot of Mazuma for a pair of sneaks. Some people say that in a few years they'll be paying for sneakers what they pay for Picassos right now. We gotta pause for a commercial. Here's the Bobby Fuller 4 for Gallon Cap shoes available nationally. Pick up a pair of them ankly boots.
Well, there she goes in a brand new gallon cap, feeling the beat and she's looking so neat. I can watch her dance all night long. Gallon caps, gallon, gallon, gallon caps, gallon caps, gallon caps, gallon, gallon, gallon. Well, I work all week and I'll save up my loot. Pick up a pair of those ankle deep boots so I can dance with her all night long. Gallon caps,
That was Bobby Fuller 4. Bobby was a singer from Baytown, Texas, following in the tradition of Buddy Holly. As a matter of fact, his biggest hit, I Fought the Law, was written by ex-cricket Sonny Curtis. Bobby met a tragic end. He was found in his parked car, dead in Hollywood. The police thought it was a suicide, but allegedly there was gasoline in his lungs. Everyone who knew him suspected foul play. The case has never been solved. Perhaps they asked for water, and they brought him gasoline. There's a Native American proverb, never criticize a man until you've walked a mile in his moccasins. Billy Connolly put it another way. Before you judge a man, walk a mile in his shoes. After that, who cares? He's a mile away, and you've got his shoes. Joe South put it all to music. Here he is, singing Walk a Mile in My Shoes.
If I could be you, and you could be me, for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's mind. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Hey, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Now your whole world you see around you is just a reflection. And the law of karma says you're gonna reap just what you sow. Yes, you do. So unless you live a life of total perfection, you better be careful of every stone that you should throw. Yeah. And yet we spend the day throwing stones at one another, 'cause I don't think or wear my hair the same way you do. Well, I may be common people, but I'm your brother. And when you strike out and try to hurt me, it's a hurting you. Lord have mercy. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Hey, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. There are people on reservations and out in the ghettos, and brother there, but for the grace of God, go you and I. Yeah. And if I only had wings of a little angel, don't you know I'd fly to the top of a mountain and then I'd cry. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Hey, before you abuse, criticize and accuse, better walk a mile in my shoes. Drop what you're doing. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Oh, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah.
That was Joe South, taking a little walk in someone else's moccasins, here on Theme Time Radio Hour, where the subject is shoes. We don't want to get off on the wrong foot, so let's play Dinah Washington right now. A big favorite here on Theme Time Radio Hour. If you're a regular listener, you know her story. She was born Ruth Jones, played in Lionel Hampton's band, and had a voice that could send a chill down a listener's spine. Her voice could make you cry or make you dance. One of the greatest singers in all of jazz, in all of music. Here she is. Take your shoes off, baby, and stop running through my mind.
Let us fly away to the rock candy mountains, just you and I, where the bluebirds sing by the champagne springs. We'll kiss the blues goodbye. Let us wander down to a rose petal pathway, and if you feel inclined, take your shoes off, baby. Take your shoes off, baby, and quit running through my mind. And after we've reached the end of the world and stand at the edge of time, we're gonna sail away on an ocean of love, on the rippling rills of that rhyme. Let me guide my love through the strangest places where love is blind. Take your shoes off, baby. Take your shoes off, baby, and start running through my mind. The end of this orbit, and we'll stand on the edge of time. We'll sail away on an ocean of love, on the rippling thrills of that ride. Let me guide my love through the strangest places where love is blind. Come on, take your shoes off, baby. Kick your shoes off, baby. Kick your shoes off, baby. Kick your shoes off, baby, and start running through my mind.
Dinah Washington, at the end of the world, standing at the edge of time. Those words were written by Gene Austin. He was one of the original crooners, as well as being a songwriter. His recording of My Blue Heaven in 1927 sold over 12 million copies. He also introduced the songs My Melancholy Baby, Ramona, and Sleepy Time Gal. He wrote When My Sugar Walks Down the Street, How Come You Do Me Like You Do, and Lonesome Road. If you want to see him, he made 3 movies, Sadie McKee, Gift of Gab, and my personal favorite, Melody Cruise. He spent most of his adult life in Las Vegas, and in 1962, he ran for governor there, but lost badly to the incumbent Grant Sire. Crooner, songwriter, piano player, and gubernatorial candidate, Gene Austin.
Face it, Andy, you sold your soul the day you put on that first pair of Jimmy Choos. I saw it.
You ever buy those used vintage shoes? You ever wondered who walked in them before? Maybe it was Charlie. Here's Billy Walker, Charlie's Shoes.
I'd like to be in Charlie's shoes, that's what I always said. 'Cause he had you and everything tied with a golden thread. Then Charlie left and went away, and when I got the news, it wasn't long till I was walking round in Charlie's shoes. Now I'm wearing out the shoes that Charlie wore, walking back and forth across the floor. The troubles that throw him away, I've got for company. These nights in Charlie's shoes are killing me. The greener grass that turned my head so swiftly did turn brown, 'cause every little dream my bill, she's always tearing down. I never knew old Charlie's shoes could have so many tacks of disappointing sorrows, and I wish he had 'em back. 'Cause I'm wearing out the shoes that Charlie wore, walking back and forth across the floor. The troubles that drove him away, I've got for company. These nights in Charlie's shoes are killing me.
Billy Walker. He had his first #1 hit in 1962 with his song Charlie's Shoes. After a benefit concert in Kansas City, Billy received an urgent call and had to hurry back home. Hawkshaw Hawkins overheard Billy's problem and offered him his plane ticket home. Hawkshaw told him, "Here, kid, you take this ticket and get on that plane. I'll fly home with Patsy and the others." Later, a small private plane would crash just 30 minutes from its final destination. Aboard that plane, Patsy Cline, Cowboy Copas, Randy Hughes, and the man who gave his ticket to Billy Walker, Hawkshaw Hawkins. For years, he carried grief and guilt so strong he couldn't speak about the loss of his friends. On Sunday, May 21st, 2006, he was killed along with his wife and 2 of his band members when a van they were riding in ran off Interstate 65, south of Montgomery. The Drifters were originally formed by Clyde McPhatter, but by the time they recorded this song in 1964, he was long gone. Here are the Drifters on the Atlantic record label, I've Got Sand in My Shoes.
Oh, the boardwalk's deserted, there's nobody down by the shore, and the Ferris wheel ride isn't turning around anymore. The heat wave and the crowds are just old news, but I still got some sand in my shoes. Sand in my shoes brings memories of the salty air. Sand in my shoes, oh, the blanket that we used to share. How we fell in love down by the sea comes back to me with the sand in my shoes. When the water was cold, you would tremble and hold me so tight, and we'd sit on the beach just to wait for the stars to come out at night. The heat wave and the clouds are just old news, but I still got some sand in my shoes. Sand in my shoes, oh, bring memories of the salty air. Sand in my shoes, oh, the blanket that we used to share. How we fell in love down by the sea comes back to me through the sand in my shoes. Sand in my shoes, oh, sand in my shoes, sand in my shoes.
That was the Drifters, and they were on the boardwalk again. You know, sand in your shoes can cause blisters. I caught up with noted foot doctor Stu Bernstein, and he gave me some advice.
Well, actually, Bob, the truth of the matter is, it would be better not to have those shoes on at all, and those blisters would be gone. But yes, anything inside of a shoe, like sand, would certainly cause a blister. Most shoes that keep your foot contained and stable are your best shoes, like the running shoe.
I don't think you could do a show about music without playing Louis Armstrong every couple of weeks. Louis was from New Orleans, as you already know, and he ended up in reform school at age 12 after firing a gun in the air on New Year's Eve. He went on the straight and narrow and became a worldwide ambassador for jazz, and the world's a richer place for him. The song we're going to play today is a little bit controversial. It's out of the minstrel show tradition. It describes, in colorful but potentially offensive terms, the racial makeup of a shoeshine boy. Louis was often accused of being an Uncle Tom, but he was anything but. He pushed black culture forward and spread the beauty of jazz around the world. In 1949, he was chosen to be King Zulu in the Mardi Gras parade. Louis, a native of New Orleans, was ecstatic. He wore the traditional blackface makeup. His royal robe was a red velvet tunic. He wore black tights and a skirt of yellow cellophane grass. The NAACP asked Louis not to accept the honor, as they considered it tomming. Louis saw it differently. He said, "You know, I always wanted to be king. I always lived for this day. I've always been a Zulu. King, man, this is the stuff." Louis Armstrong, always his own man. Here's Shine.
Drops at me, 'cause my hair is curly, just because my teeth are pearly, just because I always wear a smile, like to dress up in the latest style, 'cause I'm glad I'm living. Take troubles, all with a smile, just because my color shaded different maybe. That's why they call me Duppy Bitty Button, Bubba Bitty Button. My hair is good. Oh, my teeth are pretty, just because. Oh, baby, yo, baby. It doesn't been no now. Oh, baby, I did it. Baby, oh, baby, that's why they call me Shine.
That was Louis Armstrong in Shine. You know, Louis was such a personality, you forget what a great musician he was. His singing totally inspired Louis Prima, and on the trumpet, he was completely aware that sometimes playing less is more. The song Shine was written by Ford Dabney, who was the official court musician for the president of Haiti before he returned to the United States in 1907. Dabney created his own film and vaudeville theater in Washington, as well as organizing the Tempo Club, a Negro talent bureau as it was called. While we're on the subject of shoe shines, let's check in with Mr. Red Foley, one of the people who helped establish Nashville as Music City, USA. In 1949, Red was in the studio and came out with 8 top 10 hits, including the first million-selling record ever cut in Nashville. The song Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy was written by Fred Rose, the legendary music publisher. In one of those under-the-table song publishing deals, Rose signed over the writing credits to the Grand Ole Opry managers as a trade-off for their agreement to sign a young singer by the name of Hank Williams for their Opry. But Rose retained the rights to his company Acuff Rose Publishing. Ended up being a good deal for everybody. Here's that song about a shoeshine boy on the streets of Chattanooga. Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy by Red Foley.
Have you ever passed the corner of 4th and Grand, where a little ball of rhythm has a shoeshine stand? People gather round and they clap their hands. He's a great big bundle of joy. He pops a boogie woogie rag, the Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy. He charges you a nickel just to shine one shoe. He makes the oldest kind of leather look like new. You feel as though you want to dance when he gets through. He's a great big bundle of joy. He pops the boogie woogie rag, the Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy. It's a wonder that the rag don't tear, the way he makes it pop. You ought to see him fan the air with his hoppity hibbity hibbity hoppity hoppity hibbity hop. He opens up a business when the clock strikes 9. He likes to get 'em early when they're feeling fine. Everybody gets a little rise and shine with a great big bundle of joy. He pops the boogie woogie rag, the Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy. Listen at him go. Don't that tickle you? It's a wonder that the rag don't tear, the way he makes it pop. Just listen to him fan the air. Here goes. He opens up a business when the clock strikes 9. He likes to get 'em early when they're feeling fine. Everybody gets a little rise and shine with a great big bundle of joy. He pops the boogie woogie rag, the Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy. The Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy.
That was Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy by Red Foley here on the Theme Time Radio Hour, where the shoe is on the other foot, and we're going to talk about it. No, that song was not related to the Chattanooga Choo Choo, a totally different song from the same old city. I don't think you could find a shoeshine boy on the streets of Chattanooga anymore. I think it's because everybody wears sneakers nowadays. Shoeshine boys sure have inspired a lot of songs. We just heard 2 of them, and here's the 3rd one. This song was originally written and recorded by Johnny Cash, but we're going to play a version from a few years later by Big Al Anderson along with NRBQ. Johnny liked this version so much that during the 80s, he adopted this rockin' arrangement of his song, Get Rhythm.
Hey, get rhythm. When you get the blues, come on, get rhythm. When you get the blues,
Only costs a dime, a nickel a shoe. Does $1 million worth of good for you. That was NRBQ singing Johnny Cash's Get Rhythm. Let me tell you though, nothing costs a dime anymore. Even a dime costs a quarter.
There's a pair of smart youngsters. Hi, kids.
Hi, kiddo.
Say, why do you kids wear kids?
So I can run faster and jump farther. So I can win more often.
Right. Always look for the label big and blue. Kid is kid. That spells out U.S. kid for you. Kid is kid. Those shot through arches sure are neat. The right support for growing feet. So be a champion athlete. Kid. Product of United States Rubber.
Well, who are we going to play next? Boozoo, that's who. From Lake Charles, Louisiana, one of the great Zydeco players of all time, Boozoo Chavez. He was a horse trainer and a jockey when he was a teenager, started playing accordion, and became very popular. He was an energetic performer, always wore a plastic butcher's apron, so his sweat would not ruin his accordion. This song, Paper in My Shoe, sold an amazing 130,000 copies in 1955. That'd be like 6 million copies now.
I got the paper in my shoe. I got the paper in my shoe. Oh, why your mama don't know, and why your papa don't lie. Oh, why your mama don't know, and why your papa don't lie. I got the paper in my shoe.
According to the book Hoodoo Blues, Paper in My Shoe is about voodoo. Wearing something in the shoe, powders or wishing papers, is a method of deploying charm for any number of reasons. For instance, women have worn violet leaves in their shoes to draw lovers. Street prostitutes placed a mixture of money-drawing powder and law-stay-away powder in their shoes. Some folks place the name of someone they wish to dominate so they can rule and have their way by stepping on them. The Zydeco song Paper in My Shoe by Boozoo Chavez refers to this practice. Be careful when you put on your shoes. There might be more in them than feet.
Give me back my slippers. I'm the only one that knows how to use them. They're no use to you. Give them back to me. Give them back.
Keep tight inside of them. Their magic must be very powerful.
I'm amazed at how many people listen to this show, and we're sure glad to get emails from all of you. It means we gotta put more than one in a show sometimes, but we're happy to. Here's one we just got from Vito Jacobson from Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's cold up there. Well, Vito writes, Dear Theme Time, I'm a long-time listener, first-time writer. I enjoy the show very much. As a matter of fact, it's one of the few things that can cheer me up. You see, I've had some health problems of late, and I've been kind of depressed because of it. Do you have any advice? Well, Vito, I'm not a doctor, but I can give you these words. Nothing takes your mind off your illness like doing a little bit of work. And I don't mean like chopping wood. I mean like doing some work with your mind. Take the example of Juke Boy Bonner. He was troubled by stomach problems throughout the 60s and had to spend a lot of time in the hospital. But instead of crying into his jello, he used the time to write poems that he later turned into songs. Good songs. Now, I don't know if you're a songwriter, but maybe you can draw pictures, write a poem. Well, I'm sure you'll think of something. The important thing is even when you're laid up, your mind is free. Don't be afraid to use it. Good luck, Vito. We're pulling for you. Here's one of those songs that Juke Boy Bonner wrote, all about them running shoes. That was Juke Boy Bonner, Running Shoes. He got his name because as a child, he sang in local bars, accompanied by the jukebox. He became a one-man band, playing the blues hits of the day in neighborhood taverns, beating the drum, strumming the guitar, playing the harmonica, and singing all at once. You'd think something like that would be really popular, but he still had trouble making ends meet. Towards the end of his life, he worked in a chicken processing plant, and finally succumbed to cirrhosis of the liver in 1978.
99. I've got some very exciting news for you. I got a call on my shoe phone. I may be reactivated.
Who called you on your shoe, Max?
Commander Drury, head of the United States Intelligence Agency.
What did he say?
That the fate of the world was in my hands. You know, the usual.
I remember buying this next record when it came out, down at St. Mark's Records in New York. Actually, I bought the 12-inch single, and it blew my mind. It was a powerful, exciting piece of music. Now when people listen to it, they think it's quaint and old-fashioned. They're already condescending to it and turning it into an oldie. That's the problem. People don't always realize how powerful the innovators are. Take someone like Chuck Berry. When his records came out, they were dangerous. There was nothing like them on the radio. They were like a stampede. Now all these bands just play it louder and faster and don't really add anything to it. And so Chuck Berry, the creator, sounds quaint and old-fashioned. They're doing the same thing to Run DMC. Rap records have gotten louder, more camouflaged, faster and dirtier, with 1,000 samples. Those records are colorful, but it doesn't mean that Run DMC should just be considered oldies. They're important pieces of art, and art isn't looked at as something old or new. It's looked at as something that moves you. And here's a record that moves me, My Adidas by Run DMC.
My Adidas walk through concert doors and roam all over Coliseum floors. I stepped on stage at Live Aid, all the people gave and the poor got paid. And out of speakers, I did speak. I wore my sneakers, but I'm not a sneak. My Adidas touched the sand of a foreign land. With Mike in hand, I close took command. My Adidas indeed close as can be. We make a mean team, my Adidas and me. We get around together, we're down forever, and we won't be had when it's born in bad weather. My Adidas. My Adidas. Yo, what's up? My Adidas. Standing on 2nd Street, funky, fresh, and yes, cold on my feet. With no shoestring in them, I did not win them. I bought them off the ass with the black lead. I like to bought them, that's why I brought them. A sucker tried to steal them, so I caught them. And I walked down the street and rocked to the beat with Flea on my leg and Adidas on my feet. And yo, now I'm just standing here shooting the gift. Me and D and my Adidas standing on 2/5. My Adidas. My Adidas. Now, me and my Adidas do the illest things. We like to stomp out pimps with diamond rings. We slay on suckers who perpetrate and lay down law from state to state. We travel on gravel, dirt road, or street. I wear my Adidas when I rock the beat. On stage, front page, every show I go. It's Adidas on my feet, high top or low. My Adidas. My Adidas. Now the Adidas I possess for one man is rare. Myself, homeboy, got 50 pair. Got blue and black, cause I like to chill. And yellow and green when it's time to get ill. Got a pair that I wear when I'm playing ball. With the heel inside, make me 10 feet tall. My Adidas only bring good news, and they are not used as selling shoes. They're black and white with black stripes. The ones I like to wear when I rock the mic. On the set of a famous university, we took the beat from the street and put it on TV. My Adidas on scene on the movie screen. Hollywood knows we're good, if you know what I mean. We started in the alley, now we chillin' Cali, and I won't trade my beat up on no beat or back.
That was Run DMC talking about My Adidas. Sadly, only weeks after the end of their big comeback tour, their DJ, Jam Master Jay, was senselessly murdered at a recording studio in Queens. His funeral was attended by rap royalty, and Adidas donated many, many sneakers to Jam Master Jay's Scratch Academy, a school designed to teach interested music lovers how to DJ. Sarah Silverman told me something interesting about shoes. Listen to what she has to say.
I just bought these awesome chunky black boots that go up to my knee, but it's not like a heel, so I can run in them. And I don't like wearing shoes that you can't like run away from someone if need be. Say someone's chasing me. I don't know why that scenario is in my head a lot, but I like to keep all my options open.
As often as possible, here on Theme Time Radio Hour, we try to feature artists who perform wearing turbans. Here's one of my favorites, the great Chuck Willis. Not just a great singer, but also a great songwriter. He wrote the blues standard, I Feel So Bad, which has the immortal line, I feel like a ball game on a rainy day. I've felt like that many a time. He also wrote It's Too Late, which Derek and the Dominoes covered. And this great song, which was his last release before his death, the prophetically titled Hang Up My Rock and Roll Shoes. Here's the criminally overlooked Chuck Willis.
My mama told me she didn't like that rock and roll. I said, please, mama, please. Mama, you just don't know I don't want. Hang up my rock and roll shoes. You know I get that That music got a beat that will keep you alive. The kids are rock and rolling from 8 to 25. I don't want to hang up my rock and roll shoes, because I get that feeling every time I hear those blues. Yes, I will do my homework, clean the yard every day. Yes, I will wash those dishes. I'll do anything you say. They said that rock and roll will soon fade away. No matter what they say, rock and roll is here to stay. I don't want to hang up my rock and roll shoes, because my feet start moving every time I hear those blues. They said that rock and roll will soon fade away. No matter what they say, rock and roll is here to stay. I don't want to hang up my rock and roll shoes, because I get that feeling every time I hear those blues. Because my feet start moving every time I hear those blues.
That was Chuck Willis, Hang Up My Rock and Roll Shoes. You know the flip side of that record? And remember, it was the last record before he died. It was called What Am I Living For? You think Chuck was trying to tell us something? I hope not. We talked an awful lot about shoes today, but sometimes you just want to kick 'em off. And the man who wrote the national anthem of shoelessness was not Shoeless Joe Jackson, but Robert Parker, who had a big open-minded hit in 1966 with a song called Barefoot.
Everybody get on your feet. You make me nervous when you're in your seat. Take off your shoes and pat your feet. We doing a dance that can't be beat. We barefootin'. We barefootin'. We barefootin'. We barefootin'. Went to a party the other night. Long tall Sally was out of sight. Threw away a wig and her high sneakers too. She was doing a dance without any shoes. She was barefootin'. She was barefootin'. She was barefootin'. She was barefootin'. Hey, little girl with your red dress on, I bet you can barefoot all night long. Take off your shoes and throw them away. Come back and get them another day. We barefootin'. We barefootin'. We barefootin'. We barefootin'. Everybody get barefooted. Take off your shoes. John Henry, he said to Sue, if I barefoot, would you barefoot too? Sue told John, I stir your stew. I was barefooting ever since I was 2. It was barefooting. It was barefooting. It was barefooting. We barefooting. We barefooting. We barefooting.
Robert Parker just didn't come out of nowhere. He was a saxophone player in New Orleans and was a member of Professor Longhair's Shuffling Hungarians and played on his big hit Mardi Gras New Orleans. You can hear him on a lot of New Orleans records before he stepped in front of the mic himself to sing songs like Barefootin', Robert Parker.
It all started with a sign in the window of Canfield's shoe store. So I talked to Mr. Canfield. We got along all right, and, well, I got the job. It wasn't bad for a week or so, but then I began to get bored. It was just put shoes away, day after day. Put shoes away. Put more shoes away. Nothing ever broke the routine. All I did was put shoes away.
Well, I can't believe it. 60 minutes passes so quickly when you're wearing comfortable shoes. We're on kind of a shoestring budget, so we can't afford to go overtime. As Oprah Winfrey once said, I still have my feet on the ground. I just wear better shoes. And remember the wisdom of Karl Kraus, who said there is no unhappier creature on the face of the earth than a fetishist who yearns for a woman's shoes and has to embrace the entire woman. Take care of your feet, they'll take care of you. And remember, a man hasn't got a corner on virtue just because his shoes are shined. See you next week on Theme Time Radio Hour, your home for dreams, themes, and size 9 schemes.
You've been listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan. Produced by Eddie Korodetsky. Associate producer, Sonny Webster. Continuity by Eats Martin. Edited by Damian Rodriguez. Supervising editor, Rob McCumber. The Theme Time research team, Diane Lapson and Bertie Bernstein. With additional research by Lynn Sheridan, Kimberly Williams, and Robert Bauer. Production assistance by Jim McBean. Special thanks to Randy Azrati, Debbie Sweeney, Coco Shinomiya, and Samson Steiner. For XM Radio, Lee Abrams. Recorded in Studio B, the Abernathy Building. Studio engineer, Tex Carbone. This has been a Greywater Park production in association with Big Red Tree. This is your announcer, Pierre Mancini, speaking. Join us again next week for Theme Time Radio Hour when the subject is colors.